Today on Monkey Life, concern for Loris Bruce after the team find a lump on the side of his face.
That could be a deep-seated abscess, in which case we're going to drain it.
Orangutan Oshine is under the weather and gets a little TLC from Jeremy.
How you doing? Are you right?
Oh man.
And treats for the woollies after their big house move. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Right, ready to go. 3 monkeys in the box, not too bad.
The park provides a home for more than 250 monkeys and apes from 21 different species. At the Loris complex, there's concern for one of the residents, Bruce. Wildlife vet John Lewis has been called in to take a look.
So really the first time you noticed a large swelling on his face was October.
Yes.
Maybe a grumbling abscess. Wow.
A few weeks ago, the team spotted a lump developing on the side of Bruce's face, and it's become quite prominent. But because Loris are nocturnal animals, it hasn't been easy to monitor.
We have changed the lights over for the Loris, so they are awake when we're at work, but they're in a dark light because they're nocturnal, so they wouldn't be awake on the white light. So it does make things a little bit trickier because it's not as easy to spot things. They are incredibly fluffy as well, so it got quite a big abscess before we saw it because of the amount of hair on their body. So yeah, it can be a bit tricky to keep a close eye on them, but we do our best.
Bruce came to the park along with 4 others, all confiscated by the Hong Kong authorities from the black market trade. They're the start of a European breeding programme for Bengal Loris. While John prepares for the procedure, Animal Director Jeremy is preparing for the rather tricky task of getting Bruce out of the bedroom.
Oh, he's on the move. It's just above the basket even for him.
Yeah, he's got waste himself.
He's proving somewhat elusive.
Got one leg.
Jeremy has to clamber through the branches to reach Bruce, who isn't prepared to come easily.
He's just grabbed onto another branch.
Loris have an immensely powerful grip, and Bruce isn't giving up without a struggle.
Stroke of luck, wasn't it?
That's the glass side.
Jeremy puts Bruce in a box specially designed to allow the anaesthetic gas to slowly knock him out, helping minimise stress. After a few minutes, the anaesthetic takes effect, and John can begin the examination.
Right, Stacey, we'll listen to his heart. Hang on there.
Satisfied all is well with his heart, next John checks Bruce's teeth to see if an infection inside the mouth may have caused the lump.
The upper cheek teeth are good. It's just the upper canines, clearly the upper right's fractured there, but that's not causing the problem.
It's the first time they've had a Loris under anaesthetic at the park, giving the team an invaluable opportunity to get a really close look at the species in daylight. It's a great chance to learn more about this mysterious and fascinating primate.
We're sort of trying to piece together and build a better picture of Loris anatomy, behavior, ecology, why they are the way they are and how their bodies work. So this is all really valuable for us, for Loris as a whole, but most importantly, to find out what Bruce's issue is.
Clipping away the fur reveals just how big the growth has become.
It's a clear lump. That could be a deep-seated abscess, in which case we're going to drain it. Take sample for bacteriology.
I've got 18 or a 14.
Oh, okay, let's have the 14. If that doesn't produce any liquid anything, we might need to take a biopsy. That's tough.
John needs to insert a fine needle to try and drain the abscess.
Ah, we're in. Right, bacteriology swab.
However, when he attempts the procedure, only a tiny drop of fluid comes out. It's a bit of a mystery needing further investigation. So John takes samples to send off to a laboratory to be checked for infection or abnormalities. There's one possible final check.
Is there any chance of getting an X-ray?
There's a chance.
That's good.
John wants to rule out any sort of foreign body that could have caused the lump, and also to make sure it isn't a tumour.
X-rays are not showing me anything, although they do rule certain things out. Had there been a metallic foreign body, a piece of wire or something that's gone into these tissues here and caused a massive reaction, we would see that piece of wire on the X-ray because it's dense. It would appear as a white mark as much as a bone would. There's nothing of that sort there. We wait for the results from the blood and the bacteriology and the fine needle aspirate tests, and then we make a plan to do a biopsy if those tests don't show us the clear way forward.
So, like the loris themselves, the results of the examination are a bit of an enigma. It's likely Bruce will need further tests. But for now, John's going to put him on a course of anti-inflammatories until the results from the lab come through. Until then, the team will be keeping a very close eye on Bruce. It's been a few months since the park undertook the biggest woolly monkey house swap they've ever done. 14 of the 19 primates moved to new homes, where some met new housemates and others were reacquainted with old friends. The move went well, and everyone seems happy and settled in their new groups. Today, the most energetic bunch are getting a whole host of treats to keep them busy and active in their enclosure. There are 8 members in this group, headed up by 27-year-old Levar.
It's quite a lively group. There's loads of different characters in there and loads of different ages as well. So right from the youngest being under 1 to Levar, who's 27, and kind of everything in between. But Levar's, he's a very capable, dominant male. He's a very strong character, and he's a good example and leader to some of the youngsters as well.
Levar leads the way, with the rest of the group not far behind. They're all excited to tuck into the treats on offer. Energetic Bueno Jr. is straight in there, confidently using his tail as an anchor, hanging on to the thinnest of branches as he reaches down to grab a goodie from the undergrowth. Being a bit more elderly, Levar is happy to leave the acrobatics to others today. He spotted a lone grape and, mindful of the prickly brambles, gingerly picks it out. Since joining the group, 2-year-old Carlos has really flourished, and a whole apple is a real find. Meanwhile, despite being the smallest, 2-year-old Olivia has managed to grab a packet of nuts all to herself. She's the daughter of Zingu, who's on the lookout for more of the tasty treats. She'll have to be quick though, as Junior is intent on grabbing and eating as many as he can. Handsome adolescent 5-year-old Manny is doing what all teenagers love to do, showing off. He's keen to demonstrate what a strong and impressive male he's becoming. Close siblings Carlos and Eva are a bit more restrained when it comes to play. And there's one popular woolly who's missing today.
The smallest individual in this group is little Cosmo. So as of yet, he's not actually ventured outside at the moment. So he's still nice and safe and warm inside the house. He just hasn't discovered the slides to get out of the house yet. So we're just letting him take it completely at his own pace. And when he's ready, hopefully he'll just follow another individual outside, and then we can keep a close eye on him. I mean, he's a bundle of energy himself. Nothing seems to faze him. And he's a properly fully integrated member of this group now, so couldn't be prouder. He's doing super well.
And Cosmo may soon have a tiny playmate to join him.
Wow, it's definitely in there, Zingy. Hey, I can feel it.
For the last few weeks, staff have noticed Zingu becoming larger.
I can actually feel what I'm assuming is a baby inside there. There's lots of lumps and bumps there. Yeah, really quite obvious when you feel her belly, and it's big and it's firm. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm feeling the baby now. Very exciting.
It's great news for the park's successful breeding program. This will be Zingu's third baby, and so far, she's always been a brilliant mum. Although she does need a bit more practice when it comes to drinking out of tubs. With more than 250 primates to constantly feed and care for, keeping them all healthy is a massive task for the Monkey World team. It's not always easy to identify when one individual primate is under the weather and work out what's wrong. It's crucial the staff constantly monitor the animals and react to changes in their behaviour. In the last few days, they've noticed female orangutan Oshine has been lethargic and off her food. And if food lover Oshine isn't eating, there must be something wrong. Jeremy wants to take a closer look at her. But unfortunately for him, Oshine has decided to rest up in the tunnel system connecting the indoor bedrooms to the orangutan's outdoor enclosure. There's only one thing for it. Armed with bags and punnets of fruit, Jeremy crawls into the tunnel.
Yeah, that claustrophobia.
If she's not going to come to him, he'll have to go to her.
How you doing? Are you all right? Fancy an apple. Give me that. I love my apples back. She's better than she has been for the last few days, but she's been very flat, very low. We don't appear to have an upset stomach. We don't appear to have any coughs and sneezes or respiratory problems. I think symptoms are sort of similar to what they were sort of 5 or 6 years ago, when she clearly had problems with her cycle, her menstrual cycle, and we managed to get that under control with the contraceptive implants and then a different contraceptive pill. And what we're seeing now, I think, is possibly a recurrence of whatever that was. So we treat her symptomatically and then see if it happens again in another 28 days. Oh, man.
Jeremy has a unique and very special relationship with Oshine. When she came to the park in 2010, it was the close bond formed between them that helped her adjust from her old life, living as a pet with a family in South Africa, to living a more natural life at Monkey World.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get your nose. Yes, I am. Here comes that big monster. Here comes that big nose-touching monster. All right, we'll have a little massage instead. You like that? You want a massage? Because you're feeling poorly. Well, yeah, I mean, I come and hang out with her as much as I can, and there comes a point where she's had enough, and that's obvious, and then I'll go again. You know, she's awake and alert now, so she'll let me know when she's had enough. Yeah. Yeah? Is that good? Is that right? Is that okay? You good girl? You're not a bad old sausage, are you?
For the next few weeks, Oshine will be under constant observation, and today she's appreciated a little one-on-one TLC. Another primate who's needed extra care recently is young adult chimp Bart. It's been 3 weeks since he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. It was touch and go, and for a while the team feared the worst. Since then, the primate care staff have worked tirelessly with Bart to monitor and manage his condition. He's been taught to give urine samples so they can estimate his blood glucose levels and administer insulin according to how much he needs.
Come on. Over here. Good boy. Over here. Good lad. Nice. Good boy. There's your reward. Good girl, Beth.
Bart's been kept indoors while the team have been monitoring and training him. But that's not ideal for Bart or the group. He hasn't been completely alone, however. He's had company and been able to stay with the whole group when they're indoors. Vet nurse Stacey is checking his urine sample.
No, we're still the high end. So bilirubin negative, ketones negative. Specific gravity is 1.000.
His levels are stable, but he's far from being out of the woods yet. Since Bart's diagnosis, wildlife vet John Lewis has been in constant contact with the team to work out a care plan. It's been a fine balance trying to get his insulin level correct, while still feeding him the right foods in the right quantities. 3 weeks in, John is cautiously optimistic.
I mean, I think he was at death's door
Yeah, he was.
when we knocked him down for bloods, and I don't think he's at death's door now. That doesn't mean that he's out of the woods,
risk.
nor
Yeah.
does it mean we've got him stabilised. And I'd rather slowly increase and hopefully improve things for him than go too far suddenly and you find him in a coma.
Yeah.
I think, you know, this is actually very good progress.
In terms of how he is, where it's more, you know, now trying to manage him and the insulin, and it's a fine balance between the stress and what he's comfortable with and not putting him off taking the insulin and all the rest of it. He's been really good, touch wood, so far.
But the stress of staying indoors and not being with the rest of the group is taking its toll. And after much discussion and planning, the team decide to let Bart outside into the enclosure a few days later. It's a massive test for the young chimp and the team. They're working hard to keep him stable and are worried giving him the freedom of the enclosure will prove challenging. They'll still need him to come to them and give a urine sample, or better still, do a blood prick test, which can provide a more accurate glucose reading. If he doesn't respond to the team's calls to come over to them, it could really set back his progress. Bart loves being outdoors and is especially happy to be with his big sister, Eddie. But will he come over to the team for his tests?
Come here, Bart.
They needn't have worried. The constant training over the last month is paying off. Bart comes straight across and presents his finger for a prick test. Lisa can immediately get a reading.
The blood sample is the most accurate results we can get to tell us what's going on with him. We can use urine samples as well. The problem that we have with the urine samples, although they show us that he's got glucose in them, they don't show us the level that he's at, which can be very difficult when you're trying to pick up the right dose of insulin. So whilst we were training him to present his finger or his toes in order to get the blood results or the blood tests, we were using the urine, but we just had to get through that in order to get that behaviour nice and strong. So that's the best one we can use, but as backup we do have the urine as well. We've just got to hope things keep going the way they are and that he keeps responding to all the behaviours that we need him to do as well as what he is. But he's a really strong individual and he's young as well, so he's got a lot of time to adjust to this new style of life that he now has.
It's a lifestyle that's going to need constant monitoring and care. For now, to everyone's relief, he's stable and back outside with the rest of the group where he belongs. The park's maintenance team are hard at work once more, and they're under a bit of pressure. They're renovating an old, unused enclosure in preparation for the rather special and unprecedented arrival of 2 new primates.
It's all a little bit exciting because not only are they new arrivals to the park, it's a completely new species and a new adventure for Monkey World. So.
It all came about after Alison received a phone call from Animals Lebanon, who work closely with their government to stop endangered species being transported through their country. The authorities had confiscated a pair of monkeys at Beirut Airport, which had been illegally smuggled into the country from Ghana. Examining the photographs and footage sent to her, Alison identified them as white-throated guenons.
So we're now working in collaboration with the Lebanese government, who are now full signatory to CITES that protects endangered species, and working with the NGO Animals Lebanon to make sure that we can get these guys health tested, looked after in the meantime, and then transported to Monkey World so that they can sadly live out the rest of their days here at Monkey World rather than in the forests of Nigeria or Benin.
The white-throated guenon is considered a vulnerable species near extinction. In the wild, it's found in the tropical areas of Nigeria and Benin, living in the trees in the rainforest. They're primarily frugivores, which means their diet consists of mainly fruit, in addition to insects and leaves. The pair confiscated in Lebanon are a male and a female. But before being allowed to travel to the UK, they had to have a thorough health check. Wildlife vet John Lewis flew out to take a look at them.
Because of the background and circumstances where these monkeys have come from, they are high risk potentially to carry diseases that are zoonotic, diseases that can be shared from people to non-human primates and from non-human primates to people. So we're actually running quite significant health tests on them to give them TB tests, to get blood panels from them to know that they are fit and healthy. And then we're also doing a lot of viral screening to make sure that they don't have any other diseases such as hepatitis, and making sure before we bother transporting them to UK that they're not carrying anything scary or dangerous.
The two guenons have already been named Benny and Nia, but not much else is known about the pair, not even their ages or if they're from the same family.
It's a lot of up in the air questions, a new species, not a lot of information about these individuals. I just know that they're sat waiting for me in Beirut right now, and I'm really looking forward to getting them back here to the park.
So fingers are tightly crossed, Benny and Nia get the all clear to make the journey to a new home and a new start in life at Monkey World. Next time on Monkey Life, baby marmoset Amy needs a family. But will the whole household accept her?
It's a bit frantic, but it's good. Nothing bad so far.
And an attempted coup at Malagasy leaves Lima, Indiana, feeling frozen out.